Hi, I'm Tanya Visser, editor of The Gardener magazine, and welcome to The Gardener. Today, Garth and I transform an uninviting entertainment area by building some great practical seating. We then plant up the garden beds with plants that'll bring much needed colour before we finish off the garden by adding in a server just for a bit of additional space and finish it off with some succulents and some potted herbs. So this is the area that we have, and previously, before I got a bee in my bonnet and decided to dig away half the bank, yes, the bank used to start from here and used to just gradually go all the way up. But you can see the problem. I didn't have enough space when I had my pizzas and a couple of mates around. There just wasn't enough space to move. I think we need to do something there, but I'm just not too sure. So I'm hoping that Garth is going to be able to give me some inspiration. And Garth, I'm thinking I need a serving area over here. I need something that I can at least put the pizzas on, and I've got to have the flour that I can whack in there, and all the bits and pieces, and I don't have that. So I'm thinking of something like a serving area that we can put there. I've got some lovely logs. Maybe create a slab. We can fiddle around with it. Any thoughts?
Yeah, we can put a nice bench over here, Tanya.
Right. And then what we can do is maybe create some cool gardens around each side here. So, where should we start first?
I think we must start here first, Tanya.
Okay, alrighty. So we've got the foundation. So all we got to do is get our mortar mix ready. Right, Garth, we've got 3 building sand here and 1 cement.
That's correct, Tanya.
All right, so 3 units of building sand, 1 unit of cement, and that's what we need for our mortar mix, which we're going to be using to build our walls with our concrete blocks. Now, the good news about when you're working with the curve, and because we've got the bank here, is that we don't really need to worry too much about how straight this thing is going to be, because we've got our bank, which is going to be our backboard almost. Garth, that's looking good.
Yes, Tanya.
Got the first layer down, folks. All that's left to do now, and this is where it's all just about repetition. You're going to carry on building your lines, which are your lines of bricks, till you get to 400, which is about the height that we want our seat to start at. Once we've got to that height, we stop. The back, we're going to work up to the height of our bank. That, once again, is just going to form a bit of our backrest. We've let it dry for a couple of days. All we now need to do is to fill it up with a bit of soil. We've used ordinary garden soil to fill up the cavity in the middle. Once we've done that, remember, we haven't filled it all the way to the top. Next up, we put down a layer of our mortar mix. Put that down about 20 millimeters. That should be enough, not too thick. And then we take our bricks and we embed that into it, in the same pattern that we used to build our seating. Once they're in place, fill it in, once again with the mortar mix, just get it in, and you don't need to be too neat there, because remember, we're going to be block brushing this entire thing. All that's left to do now is to leave it to dry overnight, or at least 2 days. Right, folks, now that we've filled up the beds with our mixture of compost and river sand, we've got that ready. Final bit that we want to do for our seating is to put the bag wash on it. All you need is a good block brush, and you're just going to whack it on. So before we get to the planting, because I don't want to have all my gorgeous plants in and then start bag washing, because then I'm going to splatter them all. And cement and plants, wet cement and plants, don't go hand in hand. 1 layer of this should be more than enough. We're going to slap it on, leave it to dry a bit, and we're good to go. In order to make our concrete slab, which is going to form our server, there are a couple of bits and pieces that we need. Now remember, the size is entirely dependent on how much space that you have. So for our one that we're going to be making, it's literally going to be 1 meter by 1/2 meter. That's the length and the width of our concrete slab. The concept is dead easy. Have a base that is on a level surface. You're then going to want to have strips, which are then going to form your basic outside dimension. Garth, here are these are 4 edges that are going to be forming the basis of our mold. Put that down, pop this on top, screw it all together. Turn it over. it's important that we think of reinforcing, and it's pretty simple. You just got to create the structure within it. So there we go, 4 pieces. Got a bit of wire. All you're going to do is attach these guys, bind them together. This is our reinforcing, which is sitting nice and pretty inside our mold, and all we've got to do now is get our mixture ready. The mixture that we're using for our slab is pretty simple. We're using 2 parts river sand, 1 part PPC cement, and 1 part of 19 mil stone. Lovely. Here's the slab. Nice. Right, our concrete is ready. All I've got to do now is take out the reinforcing. First step, Garth, whack some of this stuff in here. Yep, there's our concrete. Get it in. There we go. Just grab a little trowel. You can then work it into the corners. Okay, let's take our reinforcing now. And we literally just place it, making sure that we've got enough distance from the edges. We now take the rest of our mixture, bang it on top. Once we've got enough of our concrete mixture in here, you'll see that Garth's got a plastic float, and what he's going to do now is literally just agitate the mixture and work it in. The otherwise, a little trowel like this does exactly the same job. All you want to do, work it in, agitate it on the edges to get rid of all of the bubbles. That's what's important. Garth, that's looking cool. Good. Right. Last bit. Excellent. And there we have it. All we have to do now is leave it to dry. With the slab this thick, it's going to take at least 5 days, minimum of 5 days, in order to dry. Slab is looking gorgeous, absolutely fantastic. Now what we need is a plinth for it to be resting on. We need to just measure now where we're going to put those 2 tree stumps. We're going to probably have one hole about here, which is 30, and the other one about 70. So I'm just going to move this away. Then we need to cut around into the bidden, and we're going to make a hole to then sink our tree stumps into, and that'll serve the purpose just as our plinths. So folks, our slab is in place. Now, of course, we could leave it like this. We could use just a stain on it. We could use an ordinary slurry. There are so many options, but I kind of think I'm going to give my hand at a bit of mosaicing. Not that I've done much of it before, but I believe that anybody can do it. So I've gone to the local hardware store and I've got a couple of slabs of mosaic. What I'm going to do is just pop them on here. Now, first up, what I need here is a bit of key coat. Now, all that you're going to do with this is pour a little bit on, and this basically enables your mosaics to stick nice and firmly. Perfect. Alrighty, so this is dry to tack. That's what we want. This is basically a mosaic adhesive that we've mixed according to the manufacturer's instructions. So I'm just going to bang a few on. And then I've got this little gadget, which you also get from your hardware store. And let's just scoop it across here, like that. Right. This is where the fun starts. You can pull one off just like that and kind of stick it on. The grouting is done and our server is complete, and it looks absolutely amazing.